Welcome, everyone, to another episode here at the Damage Report in what is going to be the most bittersweet of damage reports, which we'll get to the reasoning for that shortly. But first, my co-host. It's Wednesday, and it is a Big News Wednesday, but not a JR Big News Wednesday. No, it is an Emma Vigeland Big News Wednesday. Emma, how's it going?
Going good. Hump day. Hump day news. That's what you should call it instead.
If I do, can I say it that way? Hump day. Hump day.
Hump day news. Ha ha ha.
I want to make sure that our viewers are feeling uncomfortable, basically. So I think we've got there.
Right.
We've got there. Well, look, it's been a bit since you've been on, and we're a week out from the election, so we're very glad you made time to join us. Thank you for that.
Thank you for having me. I wouldn't want to spend my day any other way, specifically this day.
Thank you. Well, you know what? You've sort of broached it there. Why don't we launch into this? Everyone, we have a big announcement to make. The announcement has already been made, but not inside of TDR, and that's really what I care about. So, Emma, you have been on the show many times. You've served as a co-host many times. You've been working for TYT for a number of years. What's going on?
Today's my last day. I am moving on to join the Majority Report and Sam Cedar as co-host and a producer. I am super excited about this opportunity, but I don't want to, I don't want to cry, actually. TYT has meant so much to me. I wouldn't be in this industry if TYT didn't take a chance on me. I'm the luckiest person in the world to have worked with wonderful people like John and Jank and Anna and JR and Brett and everybody behind the scenes too. And John, start talking. Yeah.
Okay, I will. So it's been sad because I've known about this for 2 weeks now, I think, and it's so bittersweet right into the heart lobes because, obviously could not be more excited for Emma. Being a co-host of Majority Report is going to be amazing. You are going to make Majority Report 300% better by you transitioning there. So that's awesome. Just you having more screen time, a bigger platform is not only great, but it's as deserved as anything has ever been deserved. So obviously, very glad, but I'm not going to pretend that, that this isn't, this is kind of devastating for me personally, for TDR, for TYT. We love having Emma on. I've made that very clear in the past. I'm going to probably reiterate a lot of those reasons spontaneously in a minute or two. But so it is bittersweet. It is both bitter and sweet. That's what you've given us, Emma.
Yeah, no, I mean.
I know it's sad. But it's okay. It's okay. You know what? If there's some residual tears later on during the news, people are just going to think, hey, it's 2020. So don't even worry about that. Let me just say briefly.
These people at TYT are authentic. They're great. They're in LA. I'm in New York. It was just a perfect marriage for me to join Majority Report so I could build something here where I'm from. But I when I do visit LA, these are my friends for life. They're the best, and John is the best. And I'm so grateful to have had the opportunity to work alongside you guys for as long as I have. So that's how I feel, and you successfully got me to cry. Congratulations, John.
Thank you. That's all I was hoping for. No, the honor is ours. Obviously, you being all the way in New York is difficult. There's really no situation at TY. Like, we have people who work in other areas, but not generally talent that work in other areas. And so that obviously has been hard. So it makes perfect sense in that way. But let me just really fast say, obviously, I've gone on at length a bunch of times about why I have so much respect for Emma and how much she's grown and evolved and become so amazing over literally just like 4 years or so. But really fast, you mentioned there that TYT is authentic. I think you said that your friends at TYT are authentic. But see, that's the thing about Emma, is that I think authenticity is one of the most important values at TYT. And I would argue that she has capped out on that. Like, Emma's not only smart and hardworking and all of that, but she's brave in a way that a lot of people aren't in media. And she's braver than me, by the way. Let me just clearly say that.
That's Emma, not true.
No, it is. It is. Emma relishes telling people things that are true and that will not necessarily make her more popular. I think that I do it somewhat. I don't do it as much as you, Emma. You do it more. Like all of us in 2016 who gave our honest appraisal of what needed to happen in that election, we were attacked for it for literally years. A lot of people did the easy thing and told people what they wanted to hear. But you have just done that more and more. You are willing to take on cults of personality and, grift cults and all of that. And you have a lot of great qualities, but your bravery and willingness to do that when it could potentially hurt your audience in the future, I think is one of your greatest qualities. I really do admire that.
Thank you. I mean, there is not a smarter person, not a nicer guy, not a better friend than John, and there's no one more deserving of success. So I am going to constantly plug TDR until the end of time, and we're not too much is going to change. We're still going to be in contact and texting and talking about stupid pop culture things and movies. And I'm going to visit. I just have to because I love you guys too much.
We're going to be doing even some of that pop culture stuff a little bit later on. Maybe we'll be lucky enough. I don't know what your contract is like, but maybe you can come and do a game night with us or a common room or something like that. But really fast, in addition to all that I've said, Emma's been here for like more than 4 years now, and Emma has been a ridiculously important part of this period of TYT. She's grown a ton. She's turned Rebel HQ into this massive thing that I at TDR always have to be watching and worried about because it could be coming for me. And by the way, Adrienne Lawrence is going to be taking over that. We're going to have her on the show and talk about that and all of that, the future of the channel. But it's really important to me that people know that while a lot of people have transitioned from TYT to other things, they have not always done so on the best of terms, but Emma's leaving on literally the best terms ever. And it would really, like, I can't speak for you. I don't know. It's important to me, though, that people know what you were for TYT and how important you were and all of that. And so I decided to reassure you, to make sure that nobody forgets that you were here. I wanted to reassure you, and I'm going to do it in the language of your people because Emma's a jock through and through. So I asked for a little bit of advice from Brett, and we came up with an idea.
You didn't tell me you were going to do this. You said this was not in the rundown.
Well, I'm adding it. It's a last minute addition. So we're going to be retiring your jersey here, and just no one in the future of TYT, as long as I'm here at least, is going to be able to have the name Vigeland or the number 12. You got to choose a different name, a different number, deal with it. And you know what? I think I'm actually going to put this back here for the show today. We're just going to break a few things, but she's going to be a part of this thing. So people are going to remember, damn it.
What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you?
Anyway, Emma, we're also going to have a jersey sent to you because a present you don't get to hold is no real present. But this is for us. We're keeping this one, but we're going to send you one as well. And Emma, you're going to be missed. I already miss you, and I'm literally talking to you right now. So hopefully we'll still be able to talk. Hopefully.
That's, so nice. And I don't even know what to say. Thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you. And you're one of the best. Okay. So with that, I guess we still have to talk about the news, unfortunately. Oh, man. Oh, well. Maybe I can move in a better position during one of these breaks.
All right.
Anyway, okay. So, Emma, you know what? I'm going to read just a couple of quick super chats and give us a little moment because I'm feeling all like that.
Yeah, also, just you don't need to like sugarcoat it. I'm crying a lot and I need to collect myself. So
it happens. We were just talking before the show
this
about
is supposed to clean my glasses, and now it's cleaning my tears.
Okay. You know what? I hope that the audience is appreciating this. If you're a right winger in the audience, we've given you lib tears, which is your sustenance. Anyway, Kenny from Philly says we miss you already, Emma. Let's see. Robo Soul says hopefully Emma isn't leaving because she read that Dragon Daddy super chat. We're gonna miss you in your discussions with John. That's funny. Denkar sent in a big super chat just with a heart and Emma. Everybody bear in mind, she's leaving TYT, but she's going to be even more on your streams than ever before. So definitely follow Majority Report, Twitch and YouTube and all of that, and you'll be able to watch her all the time. S. Minch says, hey, John and Dragons, congrats, Emma, on the Majority Report. I know we will all miss you here at TDR and TYT, but most of us will be watching you and Sam as well anyways. Yeah, I saw a couple of comments in response to a tweet I sent you that were like, this doesn't affect me because I already watch both religiously.
It is a little bit of like Majority Report was a part of the TYT network for a long time. And so, we're all friends. It's great.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Jennifer McIntosh says, so happy and proud of you, Emma. We're going to miss you. But again, you don't have to miss her. You just miss her on here. But Chub Toad says, no, don't leave us, Emma.
Oh, thank you guys so much. I love TYT Army. You guys are the best. I was a part of it I was a fan for years and years, and the fact that I got to work at TYT is like dream come true. Still is. So
yeah. Kai Allen says, we love you, Emma. So proud of you and can't wait to see your career take off. I would argue it's already taken off, but it's going to continue. Danger Dave has some bad news, though. Emma, I'm sorry to tell you this, but you didn't give us a 2-week notice, and you're going to have to stay for 2 more years. Seriously, congrats.
That's hilarious. Thank
Sorry,
you.
That's the rule. We require notice. I warned Emma that I wasn't going to turn my key, so I don't think she can technically quit. Strayak says, sorry to see you go, Emma. You are a strong, progressive voice. Loved here at TYT. Best of luck to you at the Majority Report. You deserve it. 100%.
Thanks so much, guys.
Yeah, and there's a lot more like that. I'll read more a little bit later on. But I guess we should do a little bit of news. Let's see what the world has given us for our last co-hosting position here at TDR. The National Super Spreader Tour continues. Donald Trump's closing argument to the American people, I will give you COVID. And he did what he could. And let's see what he had on offer for his rally audience yesterday. He had this little update on his strategy for the pandemic.
We will vanquish the vaccine and we will get rid of this whole thing. We will get rid of this virus. It'll be you watch. It's going to happen very quickly.
Okay. I don't know what vanquish the vaccine meant. I assume it was just misspeaking, the sort of thing that people do. And because Donald Trump is always so understanding of other politicians who misspeak from time to time, I'm going to give a pass on that one, Emma. He just misspoke about vanquishing the vaccine.
Doesn't he kind of seem like he already knows what's going to happen? I mean, look, we all know they could contest it in the Supreme Court. The voting totals could be very unclear on election night, which could cause mayhem. I think that's a likely scenario, honestly. But he doesn't even have the same energy when he goes to his rallies. Like, this man, he knows it in his bones that he is not going to get enough votes, most likely, knock on wood. Doesn't that seem like the case to you, John? That's kind of the vibe I'm getting from him.
Yeah, it's a very sort of defensive vibe. He's literally a bit lower energy, potentially from the COVID thing.
Low energy Don. Low energy Don.
Low energy. He's got low D. Low D. Sorry, there's medicines that'll deal with that. But from the news of White House insiders already pointing the finger at who's responsible to Ben Shapiro saying, talking about what it would mean if he lost to Biden. Again, nothing is for sure, and go vote if you haven't already, obviously. But he's not acting like a person who expects that the American people are going to choose him.
Yeah, I mean, and just to bring it back to what he's saying about coronavirus, it's because none of these lies that he told in the form of fake promises are manifesting themselves. I mean, we don't have a vaccine and election day's on Tuesday. We haven't eradicated the coronavirus. It hasn't magically disappeared. It didn't disappear when it was Easter. It didn't go away over the summer. And now it's as bad as it's ever been, directly because of his strategy of ignoring the virus, downplaying it constantly like a PR stunt, and not being a leader. And people are connecting those dots. There's no way to just blow past COVID-19 because it's affecting everybody and it's the daily reality paired with the economic depression that it's caused. So he can't do his normal, I'm just going to change the conversation to Ted Cruz's dad killing JFK or Hunter Biden's laptop, which, by the way, the right-wing media machine here, the propaganda apparatus, seems to be a little bit broken. That story makes no sense, and it's not connecting in the way it did with Hillary Clinton. So a lot of things are going badly for him. He can't use his usual tactics because in times of crises, people want a leader, which he's incapable of doing fundamentally.
Yeah, I think part of it was that they spent more time on the Hillary thing, but a lot of it was just, I think there were a lot of people who were ready to believe whatever bad thing about Hillary. They didn't like her, they didn't trust her for some good reasons and some BS reasons. And so that was the skeleton that you can graft any number of conspiracy theories on. But with Joe Biden, in the words of Kayleigh McEnany, he's warm, he's funny, he's a man of the people or whatever. And so it's a little bit harder to get these conspiracy theories to stick, especially when, like, your point man on them, Donald Trump, he has no idea what the theory is. Like, to hear him talk about this Biden laptop thing, I don't know if he thinks that, like, he's got, like, a pirated copy of Fallout 76 on it. He has no idea what the story actually is. So regular people really aren't going to eat that thing up. The one area I wanted to correct you on was you implied that the vaccine wasn't gone by Easter. It wasn't gone by summer. I don't know exactly what day it was gone, but apparently it is gone because the White House's Science Policy Office today ranked ending the COVID-19 pandemic as on the top of the list of Donald Trump's top first-term accomplishments. So I guess it did end. I apologize. I guess I messed up because I didn't cover that story when it ended, but I guess it's over because that's what they said he did.
Well, you did mess up because you meant to say COVID-19, but you said vaccine like 3 times. So just correcting you on your own program so people know that, no, you literally—
Get off my network.
You misspoke. So what a loser you are.
Okay, I'm going to vanquish this vaccine any moment. Anyway, the truth is that the country set a new record of 83,000 cases in a single day, and the 7-day case average is now hovering around 70,000 cases, more than at any other time during the pandemic. Over. We've rounded the corner and, oh God, there's virus over there. Anyway, over 42,000 people are now hospitalized with COVID-19, like right now. Like as I'm filming this, was that half the Rose Bowl filled up with people who are in the hospital as a result of COVID-19? He's done. He's ended it. Ugh. I don't know. Maybe it'll work. I don't know.
So like North Korea-esque.
Exactly.
He also doesn't go to the bathroom. That's what they say on the. He doesn't defecate.
He can go to the bathroom wherever he goes because he wears big boy pants. But anyway, we're not going to talk about that anymore. I'll let Francesca convince you next Monday. So let's talk about one other area of this. Donald Trump's closing argument in this campaign. He's had one group that he's really, for the past few months, tried to focus on, and that is suburban women. And he's got maybe one last pitch for them, and this campaign messaging is coming to you via the 1950s. Here he goes.
Because women, suburban or otherwise, they want security. They want safety. They want law and order. They have to have law and order. And we're going to do great. And I love women, and I can't help it. They're the greatest. I love them much more than the men. Much more than the men. So I'm saving suburbia. I'm getting your kids back to school. Get your kids back to school. And you know what else? I'm also getting your husbands. They want to get back to work, right? They want to get back to work. We're getting your husbands back to work. And
what is going on?
Yeah, is this Mad Men?
They love security. Yeah, seriously. I didn't watch Mad Men, so I might be. So
John, it's the best drama of all time. Go on.
Anyway, better than season 8 of anyway. So they want security. They want their kids to go back to school. I'm surprised number 3 isn't like, I'm gonna give you rosé as much as you want. And then they want their husbands to go back to work. What the F is that? There's like 80 million American women in the workforce. Yeah. They work. And especially, thanks to capitalism, they gotta. So, no, they are going back to work as well. It's not just their husbands, you caveman. What the F?
I know. And what I love about this constant naked plea to suburban women is like, has there ever been a politician who just says the polling data that his team is giving to him, like very inartfully? They're telling him, you need to win over suburban female voters. So he goes on the stump and goes, suburban women love me. Do it. I mean, you usually have a little bit more finesse than that. But he just says what his campaign team is telling him. You need to make inroads with suburban women. And then he goes on the stump. Why don't you love me, suburban women? I mean, you would kind of have to first make the appeal to them instead of just calling out that specific demographic.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's, I don't think that's the only example of what you're talking about, where he's given like a couple bullet points, like, oh God, we really need to join to get this group. And like that's given to him so that he can come up with some sort of set of policies or something to appeal to them. Instead, he just says it. So as you say, with suburban women, but also like he goes to Erie, Pennsylvania, and he's like, you know what? I don't even want to be here. I shouldn't have to be here. I guess I gotta be here. He did it in, I think, Nebraska as well. Some other state, he's like, I shouldn't even be here right now. He says that to the rally attendees in the freezing cold. He tells them, I don't want to be here, but I gotta because I'm losing in the polls. How could that possibly work? And it might. There's like a 10% chance that that strategy actually works.
Well, that part is like something about him that I know this might be our biggest disagreement, is appealing because he kind of speaks off the cuff and people like that about him. But that is not enough to save him here, John. I mean, that off the cuffness is also in this time of crisis, a
war on crisis.
So.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and by the way, I don't know if maybe this is what you're talking, like he has this thing that they like. Would you like to, in your last appearance on TDR, for at least right now, would you like to defend his dancing?
Oh, I liked the dancing. I thought it was funny. There is something to being authentically yourself in some way. People enjoy that. I thought the dancing was funny. Pretending he's not funny isn't going to help matters. The fact that he's a monster gets in the way of him being funny, but he's funny. He's funny. There's something funny about Trump, John. We'll never agree on this. We'll never agree.
So here is the issue. Every joke has the setup and the punchline. So the is him doing this, I guess. But the setup for that punchline to work is convincing people that hundreds of thousands of Americans dying doesn't matter. And he did. Like, if you look at, I was just covering a poll, only 24% of Republicans who are going to be supporting Donald Trump think that the pandemic is an important issue for this election. Like, they have been successfully convinced that the pandemic doesn't matter, that people aren't really dying, that it doesn't matter if they do, it's totally cool. So they like his little thing like this.
No,
I'm so bothered by the setup that I don't like the punchline.
Right, but I'm not even.
But you are okay with that because you're a monster.
Right. Well, obviously, this means I adore Trump and hope he wins 5 different terms into the end of time. I hope he's the emperor of the United States. But I just think, like, not in terms of joke punchline setup, but his existence and how ridiculous he is as a caricature is amusing. And some of the things he just blurts out, you're like, oh my God, you're so taken aback. I mean, the reason he was able to be a successful reality TV show host is because he's amusing and a character. So that's all I'm saying. And there is a segment of the population that is drawn to that, which is part of why he won in 2016 too.
Oh, I get it now. They're bringing you onto the majority report to provide some balance because you're now a red hatter. So they want that perspective just in case he wins. They want that perspective from the MAGA hat.
Right. They're going full CNN, and they're going to have me on as the Rick Santorum figure.
That's the path you were always going in. Let's be honest here. Anyway, somebody's like, John, don't choose Emma as your garbage and for position on his dancing. We'll see. Tune in Friday. Find out who my garbage person is. Maybe it's Emma on her last week. Maybe I throw her jersey into my trash can. Anyway.
After breaking my heart with that sweetness, do not even joke about it.
Okay. Okay. Let's move on with a little bit more from that rally. So Donald Trump's rally was an opportunity for him to do one thing that he's been doing over and over, one last attempt to convince his crowds that he doesn't care if they live or die. So take a look at this video that he tweeted out comparing his rally with Joe Biden's.
Hospitals in Wisconsin are
Okay, so now we had to take the music out of that. You should understand that the music they were playing in the video was Fortunate Son, which is a Vietnam-era song, an anti-war song about how regular low and working class Americans had to go and fight and die in Vietnam, but people with economic and political power were able to get their fortunate sons to not have to go, and having this draft dodger helicopter in to Fortunate Son is just perfect. My theory is that Donald Trump, he's been cursed by a witch for a long time, and he can't play campaign songs that don't own him in some way for the rest of his life. And so, yeah, he's got this massive crowd. A bunch of those people are probably going to end up getting sick. And were there any concerns about that? Well, now we're going to go to that other video. Notice to the director. We've got Hogan Gidley being asked about hospital capacity since a lot of these rallies have ended up with spikes of coronavirus in their wake.
hospitals in Wisconsin are near capacity. And so does that give you any pause, or the vice president any pause about going there and holding a big rally?
No, it doesn't. The vice president has the best doctors in the world around him. They've obviously contact traced and have come to the conclusion it's fine for him to be out on the campaign trail. The American people have the right under the First Amendment to peaceably assemble, too. The fact is, we are seeing some good news about coronavirus.
Okay, so that, I think, is the ultimate Trump campaign message. Like, she asked, are you worried about the fact that people are getting sick after these rallies? And their answer is, no, we're going to be cool. We've got doctors. We'll be fine. He didn't even apparently think about the fact that we're not talking about you, you big idiot. We're talking about the regular Trump supporters that are going to get sick and go to the hospital and die as a result of it. Man, that is tone deaf. That is Kardashian tone deaf.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's inconceivable to them that they look out for the interests of the American people and aren't just thinking about themselves. I mean, again, that comes back to the entire coronavirus strategy. It's really remarkable how little they care about actually improving people's lives. And I know past Republican administrations, they at least thought and bought into their own ideology a little bit more and got high on their own supply. But the Trump administration, all they care about is the appearance of winning. All they care about is the appearance of success. And they're not even smart enough, or they don't even have enough fortitude to actually put in the work to achieve that success. Yeah. And so that's all we've seen with the coronavirus pandemic. And they're insular and only care about themselves. Who cares if people are getting sick at their rallies? All we care about is that the American people think we're doing a good job with coronavirus.
Yeah, and generally they're better at hiding the fact that they're only worried about their own lives. And Emma's not going to know what I'm talking about here, but we have a theory. It's the Dr. Johnny Bananas theory, and it's that Donald Trump and high-profile, high-power Republicans are always going to be protected from the consequences of everything, including things like COVID, because they get experimental monkey medicine that'll protect them from it. That's why he recovered so fast. That's why they're going to be just fine. And the con is that they have convinced their followers that they will get the monkey meds, but they're not going to. Dr. Johnny Bananas is not coming to your hospital, to your tent with hospital beds that's been set up. You're not going to Walter Reed, dude. You are going to be left to die, as so many Americans have, as close to 1,000 still are every single day. And unfortunately, Dr. Johnny Bananas, that con has been working on the American people for some time. Hogan Gidley just sort of made it a little bit too obvious there. But anyway, if that wasn't clear enough for his rally goers, that you have a First Amendment right to go and then get sick, and we're not going to do anything to stop that from happening. If COVID isn't bad enough, they've got a new way that their rally goers can die, and we found that out immediately after yesterday's rally, with NBC News reporting that hundreds of President Donald Trump's supporters were left in the freezing cold for hours after a rally at an airfield in Omaha, Nebraska on Tuesday night, with some walking around 3 miles to waiting buses and others being taken away in ambulances. According to dispatches from Omaha's police department, recorded by radio communications platform Broadcastify, at least 30 people, including the elderly, an electric wheelchair user, and a family with small children were among those requiring medical attention after hours of waiting in the cold. One officer advised 8 to 9 elderly people. They said that there was an elderly party who was frozen cold, unable to move, with an altered mental status. Another officer over that communications thing said that they had an elderly male down. So they just didn't plan well, didn't care to plan well. And so some of their rally attendees had to wait for hours and were literally being treated for hypothermia after Donald Trump had jetted away from that airfield.
Is that not the crystallization of everything we've been talking about there? I mean, I don't even know what to add to that.
Yeah, they don't care. Like, they don't care. And it's not just Trump. Mitch McConnell is adjourned. He's done. He's good. No aid, nothing. You know what? And the thing I said this on the show yesterday, it's one thing to not care about helping the American people, but he is revealing to us how sure he is that it's not going to impact the election, at least as far as he and other embattled Republican senators are concerned. Like, he doesn't even need to pretend to care. He doesn't need to give a sham, tiny, ineffective aid bill. He doesn't need to do anything because they have set up a system where they feel like they can win no matter what, even if they leave people to suffer and die in the worst domestic catastrophe that we've had in our entire lives.
Well, he is running against Amy McGrath, so.
Yeah, that helps. That helps. Okay, with that, why don't we read a few comments and super chats before we move on with the news? Okay. There are a few more comments about Emma. Metal Progressive 450 says, the news of Emma moving networks fell right on my birthday, which is kind of funny and still bittersweet. Good luck, Emma, on the Majority Report, and can't wait until Adrian's reporting on Rebel HQ.
Thanks so much. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Peter Hogan says, gonna miss you, Emma. Good luck. Gail says, good luck, and I will miss you, Emma. Rebel HQ rocks. Dragon Squad loves you.
Thanks, guys.
Lazy Peon says, so now we need to choose between TDR or Emma. Sorry, John. No. I don't think we'll be on at the same time, right?
Yes.
Oh, no. Oh,
the
no,
Majority Report
is
start streaming at noon. So.
Okay, we're gonna have to see about that. Everybody in the chat, whether Twitch or YouTube, I'm gonna need loyalty oaths out of you stat. Okay, loyal to me. Anyway, let's see. Derek Daniels says, I've been a TYT fan and supporter since 2008. Emma has been one of the best parts of TYT in recent years. Congrats, Emma. Definitely going to be watching more Majority Report. That's awesome.
Thanks so much,
Amy
guys.
says,
appreciate it.
Yeah. Amy says, I feel so lucky to have watched you grow as a journalist at TYT and will enjoy catching you with Sam and the crew. Nice.
Thank you, guys.
Kelly Tran says, Emma, my husband and I named our daughter Emma in part after you and in part after Emma Orksey. Can't wait to watch you on Majority Report.
That is such a sweet tribute. Yeah. I mean, Emma's a good name. I was named after my great grandma, who was a badass. So yeah, I can say that, right?
I think that's okay. Amanda, you know what? A badass wouldn't worry about what they can and can't do. They just do it. Anyway, your grandma would have been just blurting out profanity left and right.
Right.
Amanda Hobson says, love TDR, watch every day. We're going to miss you, Emma. You're awesome. Good luck and excited to see you in your endeavor. Thank you for that. Okay. Wow, there's a lot of comments about Emma. Andrew says, was a big TYT fan back in the day and found your channel recently through Majority Report. This is my first live stream and it's cool to see that you've got your own show now. Consider me subscribed. Andrew, nice.
Awesome.
I can't wait to see what effect you have on it because you said you're going to be doing producing as well. You're going to be choosing stories and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, the role is kind of evolving, but yeah, now that Majority Report's also streaming on Peacock, there could be some, which is NBC's streaming app, there could be some very exciting content coming your way. So we shall see.
Wow. Well, if you ever need a guest, I can suggest some people.
I will call you first.
Okay, thanks. Anyway, okay. Well, you know what? One more super chat, just to mix it up. Murphy says Ben Shapiro sucks. That's it. That's the whole thing. Thank you. I agree. He does. Anyway, man, I wonder if he's really losing it in this last few days before the election, because he's got to be looking at those numbers. He supposedly went to college. Like, he's got to get where this is probably going.
Right.
Anyway. But he's probably, I would assume, feeling a little bit better with Amy Coney Barrett on the Supreme Court and having read Kavanaugh's ruling yesterday. I think he knows that the election results aren't necessarily what's going to determine what actually happens with the future of the White House. But anyway, with that, why don't we move into the roughest story of the day before we return to a little bit of lighter stuff later on. Not too many weeks ago, we found out about the fact that at an ICE facility, a number of women were treated completely needlessly, indeed non-consensually, with operations up to and including complete hysterectomies. Some of those women were then deported out of the country before they could have any sort of legal proceedings having to do with these surgeries that they didn't ask for. And now we're finding out that the number was actually higher than we originally thought. There's some great reporting over The Intercept on this. I want to give you just a few standout statistics from it. At least 17 women treated by a doctor alleged to have performed unnecessary or overly aggressive gynecological procedures without proper informed consent remain in detention at Irwin County Detention Center. There's a privately run facility in Georgia housing U.S. Immigrations and Customs Enforcement detainees. So many of the women have been deported, but there's still a good number who are there that hypothetically congressional investigators and things like that could go and speak to. The total number of women known to have been seen by the doctor since 2018 who say they underwent or were pressured to undergo unnecessary treatments has risen to 57, a higher number than previously known. And apparently, since we first found out about this story back in September, thanks to a very courageous whistleblower, ICE has deported at least 5 women who were seen by that doctor. At least 2 more women may be deported this week. So, look, is this just ICE deporting as many people as they can before the election, as they did with those Cameroonian refugees? We don't know. Or is it them trying to get rid of potential witnesses that could testify during congressional investigations? I don't know which of those it is. Both are horrendous, but I am glad that we are getting additional information about this incredibly tragic story.
Well, I think you're right about trying to shuffle people out of the country, because this is an enormous scandal. And part of why it's such a scandal is because eugenics like this is ingrained in American history. Forced sterilizations have been a part of American history and have been inflicted upon Black, Brown, and Native Americans for decades at this point, going back to the origins of the country. And so I see a lot of lefty, well, I would say more liberal pundits talking about, the horrors of the Trump administration. And yes, that's part of it. But to understand the full scope of the atrocity, you have to know that this is a part of American life and American history, and it's living history right now. The medical racism is a huge thing, in addition to just eugenics, right? There are still many doctors who, there have been studies, think Black people have a higher pain tolerance, things like that, where they will be less likely to give them pain medication. Obviously, Black mothers' mortality rates when they're giving birth are way higher than white people. And it extends to migrants and immigrants and people who come from a Latino background. We obviously saw this. So this is a part of a larger issue in American politics right now. And it's really, really grim and gruesome when you think about it. As a woman who wants to have children someday, the thought of thinking I was going to a doctor for a regular procedure and to have part of my uterus taken out and to be unable to have children, that is so violent and gruesome to think about. I mean, it makes my blood boil. And I cannot believe that this was done, or I can believe it. But it's so angering to know that this was done on a mass scale.
Yeah, you know, to that point, let me read you one of the worst graphics that I think I've ever read on the show because of one particular part. So the Intercept spoke to one of these women, Eurydia, who was deported 3 days after undergoing an operation she said she did not comprehend, did not consent to. She was dumped into Mexico, not knowing what happened to her, still bleeding, wondering if she still had a uterus, according to her attorney. And that's our government. That's what they left a woman to suffer
We're a
and potentially
shining
die.
beacon of light. We're a city on a hill. We're a city on a hill, John. Yeah, we're just a force for good in the world. And that's why we should invade all these other countries, right? Because our morals are so in lockstep with Jesus here at home. Thank you, Mike Pence and Donald Trump and the whole Republican administration for pretending like the United States is better than other people. No, this is what we do. This is who we are.
Yeah, and my hope is that something is going to be done about this. The story got a good bit of traction immediately, you know, exclusively on centrist to left media. The right didn't have a problem with this whatsoever. You didn't see a single pro-life person saying, hey, wait, you can't just rip someone's uterus out without them saying you can. For some reason, abortions are the most important political issue anyone could ever imagine, but stealing uteruses is not a big deal. But it is also a time of a lot of news happening. And so my fear was that nobody's really on watch for this sort of thing. It'll be a big media story and then everyone will move on. Now, hopefully that's not happening. Last Friday, 8 members of Congress, including Representative Ocasio-Cortez, Omar, Tlaib, Presley, sent a letter to United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights, Michelle Bachelet, outlining concerns about gynecological procedures on women in Irwin. But in terms of Congress doing something to stop it, I mean, first of all, if Tuesday doesn't go the right way, literally nothing will be done. This will expand even more. They'll have even less worry about investigations and things like that. But I hope that someone is on this for when Biden gets in. There's a billion things Biden has to do, but this can't fall by the wayside. That doctor is still out there. That doctor is not behind bars right now. So the tragedy is what happened to the women, but the culprits are still there. All the people who've raped so many women in these facilities and abused them and extorted them and all of that, many of them are still serving right now at these facilities waiting to prey upon more women. And we can't let this just get swept away by the flood of news that comes out every week.
Abolish ICE. This organization was not around for a long time. It was created and it has been abused after many of our human rights were trampled on in the post 9/11 world. So this is the kind of thing that needs to end. We can live without a force like this, an unaccountable immigration police force that has clearly abused and violated countless migrants and people who just are trying to come for a better life. It's revolting and it's time. Abolish ICE.
People try to act like AOC was crazy for pushing that.
Oh, yeah, right. I know. It's like these people who think they're intellectuals can't see past, what, like 20 years of the history of ICE? They can't just imagine a world where it didn't exist. You pretend to be smart, and yet the scope of your imagination is the size of a pinhole.
Yeah. Okay, let's mix things up. We're going to roll right through into our next story, which is we're going to be going effectively from as serious a political story as can be to basically the news headline of what 2020 is. So we're going to be talking about Rudy Giuliani. So let's turn to that now. Rudy Giuliani was on Fox Business. He was being interviewed by Kennedy, who has a show on Fox Business. That is something I'm learning. We're also learning about Rudy Giuliani's increasingly fragile and chaotic mental state because he did not respond well to some of the questions and comments and insinuations from Kennedy. So buckle up, hold on to your butts. We're going to show you a little bit of Rudy Giuliani, including how he responded to a sort of comparison she made to him and Christopher Steele.
Some could say that you were acting like Christopher Steele, that you were abstracting information, and because
you got to be kidding me. I was acting like Christopher Steele.
That's what it sounds like when you look at the people that
you better apologize for that. I mean, I've been a United States Attorney, Associate Attorney General, Mayor of New York City, and a member of the bar for 50 years. I've never been accused of anything, and you're accusing me of being Christopher Steele?
I'm accusing you of
That's
acting in a capacity
that you would do that based on nothing.
to Christopher Steele, and that
Similar
you
to
were
a
going
crook?
back and forth between
Similar to
Ukraine
an obstructor of justice?
and the United States.
What you are saying is an outrageous defamation of me, of my reputation. Every single thing is here, and I want you to look at it, and then you apologize to me.
Look at it.
Well, you can come to my office and you can look at it, and tomorrow night you can apologize to me for saying I'm like Christopher Steele. I told you there are underage girls there. There are. I told you there are documents that show that he's getting 10%. There are. There are documents that show that he's getting half of what Hunter gets. There are. And when they're there, I want you to apologize to me because you just defamed me.
Absolutely.
And that's outrageous because you have no basis for that. I came on your show in good faith to give you evidence that is being withheld from the American people, and I get defamed. That's outrageous.
All right. Are you still working on behalf of the president?
I think our interview is now over.
I haven't.
That seems to be confirmation that he is working for the president, because he has the exact same relationship to interviewers as Donald Trump is. When he doesn't like it, he just walks away. So that was Rudy Giuliani operating in good faith.
He is a literal gremlin. I mean, he looks like the Penguin, right? He looks like Danny DeVito, the Penguin. He is one of the most evil people I have ever seen in American politics. He is a caricature of a human being. And by the way, you talk about she's impugning your character. Dude, you don't have a reputation left. Even most Republicans outside of the Looney Tunes in the Trump administration think you're a joke. I've seen him in person. He's completely round. He's like 5'5" and has nothing left in his brain except just black bile and nonsense and whiskey or whatever he's drinking. He is a crazy person. That's all I've got. This is my last day. That's what I'm saying. He is a nut job. I mean, it blows my mind that he's let on television. He should be in like some sort of psych ward.
Yeah, the question is, why did she have him on? I mean, she's being a little bit critical of him. I have no idea what she says from day to day. For all I know, this was hour 6 of her coverage of the Hunter Biden laptops. I don't know. But you bring on Rudy Giuliani, he's going to say crazy things. That's all he's capable of doing. You can't get mad at him for that. If I leave a slice of pizza on my floor, my dog eats it. That's not the dog messing up. That's me messing up. And Rudy Giuliani is effectively a pizza-eating dog with black bile in his brain. And so he flipped out. Now it continues. So again, hold even further onto your butts, because he doesn't like the rest of the interview any more than he liked the insinuations about Christopher Steele.
In the Borat movie?
No, that's a stupid question, isn't it?
No, it's not stupid at all. I have a 15-year-old daughter. I watched that and I was kind of grossed out by it. I'm giving you a chance to explain.
Well, I called the police when I realized that it was a scam. I called the police and he ran away, because the minute she said something compromising, I called the police. Whether you believe it or not, I was tucking my shirt in. He made it appear as if it was something different. The minute she said she wanted to give me a massage, I called my security guy, and we called the New York City Police Department, who came there, and Borat and his 50-man crew ran out of the place.
All right.
So that's what happened.
Finest
Would you like to ask me any other
in the world?
Any other question to attack me for merely coming on your show to show you what criminals they are, from a hard drive that's been verified by about 50 people, including the New York Post.
No, I'll see you tomorrow.
Now, is there
I'll
anything
read it
else
for
you'd like to
myself.
insult me with?
I'll put my eyeballs on it. I can't wait. Thank you for your time,
Well,
Mr. Mayor.
maybe you should have done some research in advance.
I did a lot of
and
research.
listened to the tape recording. Well, you sure didn't listen to the conversation that came out today in which Hunter Biden says in his own voice that he is partners with the chief Chinese spy master, Patrick Ho. Now, go figure out how I made that up.
All right.
See if you can come up with some creative theory how I made that up.
You can't tell me. You can't tell me you haven't loved this conversation. You've loved it.
I have not loved this conversation. I find this conversation totally insulting.
I think he was probably speaking for the audience. I have not loved this conversation, but she did, because she was smirking at him literally that entire time. I guess that's why she brought him on, maybe, because she expected this sort of thing would happen.
Yeah. I mean, I still remember I think that was his Piers Morgan interview, where he got into a screaming match with Piers, too. And Piers Morgan is not that good of a guy, but he makes, Rudy Giuliani makes him look like Bernie Sanders.
Oh, God. Let me ask you one final question as to the substance of this. Is there any substance of this?
Yes.
And by that, I mean, this is their attempt. The best they've got is Rudy Giuliani with a blind guy's laptop that supposedly shows that Joe Biden did whatever Q says, I guess. I guess he sleeps with children and he took $1 billion from China. I don't know. Is this helping him at all? And if so, to what extent is it helping Donald Trump?
Well, no, it's not helping Trump at all. And I alluded to this earlier in the show. The right-wing propaganda machine's kind of broken in 2020. A lot of things broke in 2020. And the Fox News right-wing smear machine, it's not working. This Hunter Biden thing is so convoluted. And it doesn't make sense. The initial claims about Burisma, which came out, a long time ago, okay, yes, there is clearly some sort of kind of corrupt deal where this Ukrainian energy company tried to get access to Joe Biden via his son. Well, the Trumps do it 100 times worse, so that's why this doesn't land. And also, all of the following conspiracy theories don't make any sense. So the initial thing was a relevant topic about corruption, right? If they were making it about that, but they try to make it about Hunter Biden's addiction, which was so tone deaf and horrible, leaking photos of him personally from his laptop, and then everything falls apart from there. No one can follow this. Not even the Fox News host, not even the people who are so in this right-wing media bubble. They can't even follow. Donald Trump doesn't even know what he's talking about when he talks about Hunter Biden on the stump. It's really a failed effort by the right-wing propaganda machine, and it's fun to watch.
It is fun to watch. And I think, ideally they would want it to affect the actual outcome, drive more people to the polls. Now, it seems to me, based on like Ted Cruz talking with Jack Dorsey or whatever today, it seems like they're just hoping to use it to put pressure on the tech platforms to even more favor them in the future, implying that, like, how could Tucker Carlson talking to whoever the hell that was yesterday not trend? And if it didn't trend on Twitter, then clearly Twitter is biased against all conservatives. So it seems like that's sort of the backup plan. It would be great if it got people to the polls. It's probably not going to. Maybe we can at least get Twitter to be nicer to us. I don't know. Man, Giuliani. He thought he was going to be president at one point, and now he can't make it through an interview with an MTV host. Jeez. Anyway, let's read a few super chats, a few tweets, and all of that, and then we'll get on to our last two stories, which are quite light. Murphy says, going to vote for Biden today. If you're in Arizona, please go to the polls today. Please, we can win this. Arizona, it would be great to see that go blue. It is not a guarantee at this point. So if you're in Arizona, especially, go vote. If you're in Texas, what the hell are you doing? Go vote right now. Emma, last minute prediction. Does Texas go blue?
No.
Damn. Oh, well. Is it close?
We say that, I feel like, every year, and then it just doesn't happen. So
I know, but the polls are better. Anyway, Justin says, Emma, I love you.
Runner, so.
Mm-hmm. Wait, is that the incumbent?
It's the fact that the runner is, I would say, the fact that the red team is the runner, because they're always winning in Texas.
That's true. Justin Trevino says, Emma, I love you. You're the greatest, and I hope you well with your new job. You will be missed at TYT.
Thanks so much.
You will. But not forgotten, thanks to her jersey. Raja Harris says, we love you, Emma. You're a real one, with a lot of really great emojis after that.
Thank you so
Evan
much.
says, Evan says, I'm heartbroken that Johnny and the Vig is on its last episode, but I look forward to guest appearances. I certainly hope so.
Yes.
Doc Twisted says, Emma Vigeland simply walks into Mordor. That's how much of a badass you are.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Stan Z with a big super chat saying, Emma's field reporting is irreplaceable. She's among the best on any platform at on-the-fly interviews with the public. The Vig will be missed.
Thank you.
There's nobody who does rally coverage the way that you do. Hopefully you'll still be able to do that from them. By the way, I don't know if it was a YouTube comment. I'm looking for it now, but I'm not seeing it now that I'm searching for it. And it was someone saying all they need to do is in their Google search bar is replace damage with majority. And no, stop it. Stop it. Is this going to form? This is the first great schism in Dragon Squad. We're going to divide into two groups, the loyalist dragons in red and the traitorous dragons in green, who are apparently going to follow Emma. We'll see. By the way, okay, I'm going to send you this full comment from Bart, but I'm going to read just the beginning of it and say, because Bart left a comment for me for you. Emma, you're a badass. Every time I see those Trump rally interviews, it reminds me of the Sex Pistols when they first toured America. Instead of playing at safe places where they would be preaching to the choir like New York or LA, they toured and played in smaller venues in the South. Always go where you're not wanted first. There is more to achieve. I'll send you the full thing later on.
Oh, Bart, that's awesome. I'm gonna miss you, man. I'm gonna miss our movie discussions. We can still talk, you know. So yeah. I'm gonna miss everybody. It's killing me.
I know. Over on Twitch, Trashy Play says hugs for Emma in chat. Y Roger G says the series finale of Johnny and the Vig. That's true, but maybe things get rebooted all the time. Sometimes you have to wait a long time. Take a look at Cobra Kai. We had to wait decades, but it was worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Someday we're going to be hosting a show together on some platform that hasn't been invented by a person who hasn't yet been born.
Yes, good call. Look,
Anyway,
pop culture show maybe.
Maybe. Pixelated Bunny says on Twitch, Emma, my son just is hypnotized every time you're on the show. He doesn't get to see you your last day because I'm at work, but I'll make sure to have the majority report on before TDR to keep him happy. Much love.
Awesome. Nice. Thanks so much.
Yeah. And Jason Dante said, I hate you for making me cry this early in the afternoon. Oh.
Yeah, I hate John too.
I know. Not more than I do. Mac Bain, this will be the last comment for right now, says, someone says Cobra Kai rules. Cobra Kai does rule. Do you watch Cobra Kai?
No.
Oh, you gotta watch Cobra Kai. Anyway.
All right.
It's so good. I didn't expect to watch it. We have shows, my wife and I, where she'll be like, hey, is it cool if I just start watching this by myself? And I was like, sure. And I would be on my computer, she'd be watching, and I'd hear it. And then after like one episode, I started watching it with her. That happens from time to time. Cobra Kai. So
that's how it works.
Mac Bain says, Emma in Majority Report is like a new neuron connection being formed, improves the overall complexity and potency of the overall left mind. Nice.
I like to think of it that way too.
I do. I've always thought of it that way.
Mm.
Anyway, okay, with that, we've got two more quick stories with the time we've got left with Emma. And so we've decided, since this is the last stuff we're going to be talking about for a while, it is going to be deep dives into policy. Starting with Kim Kardashian. Anyway, we're just going to have some fun.
Can't wait.
Kim Kardashian, a bit tone deaf, admittedly, during the pandemic. She tweeted this. After 2 weeks of multiple health screens and asking everyone to quarantine, I surprised my closest inner circle with a trip to a private island where we could pretend things were normal just for a brief moment in time. And then there are beautiful pictures of people in fancy clothes. We danced, rode bikes, swam near whales, kayaked, watched a movie on the beach, and so much more. I realized that for most people, this is something that is so far out of reach right now. So in moments like these, I'm humbly reminded. I didn't catch that before. It was live.
I didn't either.
Right.
I didn't either.
Right now?
Yeah.
You think I'm not at a private island because of the pandemic?
Me renting a private island is a little bit out of reach on my budget, but maybe next year.
Right now, it's like, oh God, I just got so much money, but the pandemic, I'll just sit here with my money. No, that's not why. That's not why at all. And by the way, adding, I am humbly reminded of how privileged my life is. I get it. That's a good thing, especially in terms of marketing, but there ain't nothing humble about this. And acknowledging your privilege is not as good as not throwing your luxurious superhero Martian elite lifestyle in our face as we're worried about going to the supermarket without catching a disease that kills us or our loved ones. And she is a regular person. She can do whatever she wants. And admittedly, this is what she is famous for. A lifestyle that's crazy. That's what a lot of people are famous for some reason. I don't know why as Americans we've decided this is what people should be famous for, just being on the beach all the time and being on nice planes. I don't know. But she is the ultimate version of that, and it just strikes me as a little bit tone deaf as we launch into the third part of the first wave of COVID.
Oh, a little bit? Yeah, so look, I've been recently feeling a soft spot for Kim Kardashian. I said this to John. He didn't approve. I feel sorry for her that her husband clearly struggles mentally and had some sort of breakdown in public and seems to maybe be continuing that. I feel like she did do some good work trying to release people from prison. And I will admittedly tell you that I used to watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians. I like some trash reality TV. Sue me. The Bachelorette is crazy this season. Anyway, but yeah, this undid all of that. This was so embarrassing for her. What?
Totally too. I said, I'm going to sue you, actually. I can't afford a great lawyer, admittedly, but I do have Rudy Giuliani, and so you better watch your ass. Anyway,
but you can, but you are saving up for your private island, right?
Who needs to save up? Literally the only thing stopping me is this damn pandemic. But anyway, and I will say, I would have guessed that you'd watch Keeping Up with Kardashians. I will say that I too watch trashy reality, not that trashy, but I've recently restarted rewatching American Chopper from like a billion. Did you ever watch that?
No. What
is
that?
It's a reality show about this group of guys that make custom motorcycles and fight with each other a lot.
Oh, that's fun.
It's good though. It's good.
Wait,
but anyway,
I just have a quick thing because we're having fun. Oh, sorry. What? Did you have something else to say?
No. What's up?
Did you ever watch Pimp My Ride?
Yes, I've watched a little bit of Pimp My Ride.
Okay. There was once an episode where this woman was a nurse and they pimped her ride and they put a what's the machine that you go in and like, you know, it's really claustrophobic. Shoot.
You said shoot, that's fine. Sensory deprivation tank? Or an iron lung?
The one where they scan you.
Oh, like an MRI?
Yes, they put an MRI machine in the back of her car. Why would that ever? It's not functional. Why would that ever be useful? And she's never going to be able to sell that. Okay, I just had to get that off my chest. It's a reality TV show episode that's been in my mind for like 12 years at this point.
Have they rebooted that? They should reboot that. No. But anyway, okay, so look, her being a bit tone deaf, not necessarily good, but something good did come of this. The same thing that comes of everything these days, memes. And so people took her little tweet and made their own version of it. Yashar Ali did a photo version of a text that tweet that I sent out with his edition of Castaway there. Someone went with Lost. Actually, that was their little island trip that they took. Some people who are really into literature decided to go with Lord of the Flies. It would be funny if it devolved to that. But the best has to go to Ken Klippenstein with the photo from Parasite. Because it's just so perfect in this year. And the best... What?
Sorry, I'm just saying the best always goes to Ken. He is the king of Twitter. I mean, there's no other way. There's no way around.
is good.
Yeah.
You know who liked that tweet of his?
Who?
The official Parasite account.
Awesome.
I guess they like it. If you haven't seen Parasite, watch Parasite instead of Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
That's a good idea. Good rule of thumb.
Yeah. Anyway, why don't we move on to our last story? Because we've got Kim Kardashian, and you brought up Kanye West's issues. What if Kanye West seems like the reasonable one today? So that is our transition into this story.
Whew.
Kanye West, over the weekend, I believe, was on the Joe Rogan podcast, and he was talking about the Star Wars prequels. And as soon as I saw this, I knew I had to hold this story for when Emma Vigeland would be on the show. So she's here now. Here's Kanye West on those movies.
And this is one thing I want to say, like, and this is about to make me mad right here. The first time you see me get mad in the interview. They said that George Lucas's prequels are worse than the corporate-made Disney Star Wars.
I'll get mad at that too.
Like,
that's ridiculous.
Revenge of the Sith. We saw how Darth Vader was made.
Yeah.
Like, I watched that like 10 times during COVID. Like, don't jump, Anakin. No. I got the high ground.
Those early movies were pure. Yeah. They were pure.
I'm saying even the prequels are better than anything that. And I'm sorry, Disney Star Wars design team. I know you're gonna like put my face up in the, office and be like, forget. No, man, this is George. This is his baby. That thing was set in his heart to show us as children the hero's journey. Mm-hmm. And these like, how can we run it back and replay? Like even at Disney, there's people, at Pixar that have left. People have left, where. They call, I forgot the exact title, but saying like every time there's a new idea, they call it like an unproven idea. So they'll get to Toy Story 800,000 and Frozen trillion before there's a new concept.
Right. Okay, so really fast, I just want to say, when I say that he sounds reasonable, I don't mean that I agree with him. I don't at all, and I will explain that in a bit. But if I just watched that video of him, I would think, oh, yeah, no, he's a perfectly normal, intelligent human being expressing thoughts without sounding like a crazy person.
Yeah, I have a soft spot for Kanye West. I feel like I have a soft spot for everybody because I still would put Kanye in my top 5.
You're one big soft spot, Emma.
Yeah,
that's all
I know.
You are.
I'm just
people the benefit of the doubt.
I'm schmaltzy. Yeah, but he's one of my top 5 favorite artists of all time. And I also think he has like a good heart. What are you talking about? That's not a bad take. That's not even a bad take. His music's amazing. And not less so now, but his early albums, Graduation, Last Registration, okay. Anyway,
no, it's not a music segment. This is a Star Wars segment. Damn it!
Right. Back to the important topic at hand. I love when he says the corporately made ones. Dude, you realize that the other movies were corporately made too?
Those were right? Phantom Menace is indie, man. It was made on a budget of $2,300.
A24 was the production company behind those movies. No, okay, I do see what he's saying, but the first 2 prequel movies are dog blank. They are horrible. Revenge of the Sith is good. I get what he's saying. There is a climactic moment there, and the emotion is earned. The acting is so bad in the prequel movies, though, that you just can't get past it. I mean, the dialogue that Anakin says, the love story between him and Padme is atrocious. And, okay, John, and I know you agree with me here, the first 2 of the recent movies are really good. Are really, really good. I love The Force Awakens, and I despised. I don't even remember the last name. What was it? What was the last movie?
Rise of Skywalker. I did not love. I've only seen it once. I didn't love it.
Yeah.
So yeah, the corporate thing was hilarious. They're all corporate made. They're gigantic, epic sci-fi movies. They have to be corporate made.
Right.
And remember, the Disney movies are not just those three. You've also got Rogue One, and Solo, of course. I liked Rogue One. Solo was fine. I've only seen it once. I have a bit of a soft spot. I have an Emma spot in my heart for The Phantom Menace because I still remember seeing it. And the movie's got some issues, admittedly, but it's got among the best lightsaber fights ever in a Star Wars movie. Darth Maul was a great villain. When that second blade comes out, you gasped. You know you did.
Oh, yeah. No, and I still remember watching that as a kid when he gets chopped in half and tumbles down. I was like, how did they do that? One part of him's here and the other part of him's there.
This is you discovering CGI in real time.
Yeah.
But anyway, the second prequel movie, no. Yoda was cool, I guess, but no. The third one, I like the third one. I rate that pretty highly in my list. Even though it's mostly for the end, the plot doesn't really make a lot of sense. The dialogue is so bad. But that last bit with Anakin and Ewan McGregor is good. Honestly, those movies are kind of saved just by Ewan McGregor being charming. Like, it makes up for the bad acting and dialogue and all of that. He's just kind of a charming guy.
Yeah, it seemed, well, McGregor had experience as an actor, and like all of the other people were first time or close to it, and it seemed like George Lucas just didn't care about helping them as a director, and so he just threw them into the snake pit. But yeah, I mean, the recent movies are good, except I would say Return of the Jedi. Geez, what was the last one, John?
Rise of Skywalker.
Rise of Skywalker. That might be the worst one. No. I would still say, no, but it's in the bottom three.
Yeah. Well, look, I need to see it again, but I will say, and I guess this is controversial. I don't understand how this is controversial. The Last Jedi is great. It is very, very good. I know
do you like The Force Awakens or The Last Jedi better?
Yes.
I like The Force Awakens better, but I like The Last Jedi a lot.
I probably like The Last Jedi more, but The Force Awakens is so clean and it's so good. But The Last Jedi's got great lightsaber fight with Kylo and her. That was amazing. That last assault at the end was so good. The battle between Kylo and Luke was great. There's just so much that's good there. Like, all of the nerds who watched it and worked so hard to hate it, it just made me sad. Made me sad. I get it. You only want white males in your movies. I get it. But, like, it's still good. Just pretend that Rose is a white guy. Yeah. And it's great.
Well, what I loved about that movie is that they took risks and they were like, no, maybe Rey is not related to anybody, and it isn't passed down via this divine birthright bloodline. And then J.J. Abrams takes over the last movie and just undoes that. And that killed me, because that was a really cool aspect of The Last Jedi. I mean, I saw the last movie. I went to the midnight premiere. I lost my wallet that night, by the way. I think it was stolen out of the theater before the pandemic, when we went to movie theaters. I was so angry leaving that movie. It was the biggest letdown ever. But anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, so look, Kanye, maybe if he just sticks to pop culture critique, I think we could reintegrate him into this whole thing. Right. I don't agree with him about the prequel movies or the corporate nature of these movies. I think that Disney is doing a very good job. Disney's bad in a billion different ways, obviously, but they also made The Mandalorian, so maybe they're not terrible in this area necessarily. And next time you come to LA, by the way, if the pandemic's done, we're going to go to Disney and we're going to do the Rise of the Rebellion ride together. That was one of the coolest things I've ever experienced in my life, and I've been all over the world.
I'd love to do that. That'd be fun. Yeah.
Okay, well, that's going to happen. 3 years when the pandemic's mostly done.
All right, book it.
Nice. Okay, Emma, I guess that's all the time we have with you for now. Thank you for coming on the show on your last day. I really do appreciate it.
Are you kidding me? I wouldn't have wanted to spend it anywhere else. Thank you so much, John and Brett, for that really thoughtful gift. Obviously, you saw how much it touched me. So,
Yeah, everyone. Thank you. We're going to see if we can do that. Follow Emma on Twitter. Go track down the Majority Report wherever it is. On that, I just want to give one caveat on that, though, because I saw a super chat from Chris Chiata who said, "Careful, John. Dragon Squad is flying to the Majority Report. Hashtag Sammy and the Vig. How dare you?
How dare you?
Dare you?"
No, I will only be the second leg of the Vig in this scenario, right? Okay.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, thank you again. And very excited to see your work going forward. Going to be following very closely. Thank you again for joining us.
Thanks so much.
Okay, everybody, let me read a few more super chats and all of that before we go. I'm going to, because it's blocked, I'm actually going to get her jersey, and that is going to be my co-host for the last few minutes of the show here. So I don't know if you can actually see it. I'm going to have to put some foam in that. It's starting to fall down. But anyway, okay, so let's see. Pierre sent in a super chat saying, "I love their love story. I just hate sand." Oh, my God. Seriously, you need a critical... George Lucas has the same problem as Donald Trump does. He has surrounded himself with people who won't tell him when he's being stupid. Okay, Felicia says, "Thank you, John, for having Emma on today. TDR every morning to start my day. Much aloha." Thank you. And thank you to Hawaii, I assume. Torn says, "I think Kanye is right to a degree. If we're talking the main movies, at least Phantom Menace and the Clone Wars actually contributed to the story." They did, and I'm okay to some extent with those prequels. I just don't think they're as good as some of the new ones. Days Falling Down says, "My description of The Last Jedi is it's a great film, but not a great Star Wars film. I loved it. Rogue One is my favorite, though." Rogue One was great and very different, which is what I liked about it. Let's see. W Chaos says, "Emma, here is a Senzu. Good luck on the Majority Report. We'll miss you." Well, you'll be able to see her there starting next Tuesday. But watch us all day long. But you can pop in with a second screen and watch them as well. But anyway, yeah, we're going to be doing all-day coverage of the election, starting with a massive, basically 3-hour damage report, including with a special guest, a progressive candidate who's going to be joining us. Should be awesome. Richard Rowe for Congress says, "We love you, Emma. It was awesome meeting you in Miami. Guess I'm going to have to start doubling up on TYT East Majority Report." I don't know if they would like to be called that, but definitely tune in. Let's see. Jason, pronounced Jason, said, "I can't think of a better person to replace Michael Brooks. RIP. I know you'll be great. Good luck. Like you need it." Yeah, very sad, obviously. Oh, Boo Radley sent in the super chat saying, "I'll just switch damage to majority in my search bar. No bigs, Vigs." No, Boo. Don't do that. Don't do that. Anyway, thank you to everybody who watched for this last episode with Emma. Obviously, very bittersweet, but she's contributed so much to the show over the past few years and to the network more broadly as well. And later on today, I'm going to be doing the main show, so tune in with that. I'm going to be on with Anna Kasparian. We got lots more planned for the remainder of this week leading up to the election. So until then, stay safe out there. Stay sane out there. I'll see you soon.